Right, the bait I'm using today is maggots and a bit of sweet corn. Again, you just seen what I said about on my very first or my second video. We've got to go fishing. Let's go fishing with M&M. Is again the environment. Now, okay, it's only a couple of cans. There's a can, gas can, but there's no need for it. Clean up, simple. Clean up and respect where you are. Okay, they've hid it away so it looks tidy. No, it doesn't. It's damn. Eventually that will rot and damage the plants probably. But there you go. That's me. Excuse me, I'm just going to go for a quick smoke. Now, I will say this, when I have a cigarette, I'm not going to advertise it. I'll try not to anyway. Nubs, them, take 40 years to biodegrade. So, when I open my can, that will be my ashtray. I will put my empty cigarettes in there, don't leave them around. Put my empty ones in there, and then I can take it home knowing that I haven't made rubbish anywhere where I'm fishing, because I respect where I am. Most important thing, always respect where you are. Right, let's get on with the fishing. Handful of maggots. Just going to throw just about the area there. I've already sorted the depth out. I've already sorted the depth out on it. And because I've sorted the depth out, I know what I'm fishing for. I mean, just see me throw some maggots in. Putting in three maggots on the line. Look, you can see them wriggling, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Attempt to fish. No, I'm not gonna cast far. All I'm gonna do to start off, rod length out. I'm just gonna flick this and hopefully catch a fish. The thing is, I've got my back to you, which I'm sorry about that, because I can't. As I said, if I had a proper tripod, I could set you up properly. I might try and put you over there, but I don't lose my phone in the water. I keep looking away and looking at you. But this is the way fishermen are. You can be quiet. I'm trying to educate people that it's not all about being the best all the time. Just have a go. And all I'm doing is just waiting for that fish to come along. Now I've got 2 rod rests. One to put my rod on to settle on if I'm going to do something. But I haven't really depthed it over it because I haven't put a plumb bomb on. Now a plumb bomb It's a funny shape. I will show you. I will pull my line out of the water, put the plumb bomb on, just to show you what a plumb bomb looks like. And the plumb bomb, what a plumb bomb does is that you can set your float to the depth it is, where it's just touching the bottom, but at the same time touching the bottom, it's just the right depth, so you can get your float just right, just how you want it, where you want it to sit. If you want it above the bottom, you have your float just sitting underneath, just about to see your float underneath the water. Then you know it's about an inch under the water and you can still see your float. That means you're going to come off an inch off the bottom. But if you want it to be on the bottom, as it is now, just cocked right, brilliant. But what you can do as well is move the shot so far up your line, you can put your plumb bomb on and your float will lie, instead of being like that, it lies down like that. But when you get your plumb bomb setting, it will start kicking up slowly until you get it straight up in the air like that. Then hopefully it goes under and you've got a fish on. That's after you took the plumb bomb off, of course. Right, I'm going to show you a plumb bomb. Well, no nibbles yet. I mean, there's a man who I follow now and again. He's an old guy. I don't know where he comes from, but he's an old guy, wears glasses. One day I'll get his name and I'll get his name and one day probably get in touch with him. That is a plumb bomb. Lead on the top, on the bottom a bit of cork, and it's flat on the bottom. Flat on the bottom because when that sits on the bottom of the water, that there. Right, so what I'm going to do, if I can catch me hook, have a bit of fun. Come down, proper sharp, that is, isn't it? I use funny voices now and again because I'm a bit of a clown at work. I was at work yesterday. Sorry, I was at work Sunday, Monday, Friday, Saturday, sorry. Yesterday, Saturday, yeah. Saturday. Oh, I don't know what bloody day it is. Anyway, I was at work Wednesday and my gaffer writes the timesheet out. And I was thinking, what days have I got off? I'll do this Thursday. Could I have Thursday off? You never know, I might do a Thursday one. I have Tuesday off because I teach karate. Normally Thursdays I have off unless they want me to get work. Normally I work Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Well, this Sunday I was amazed because he put me down on a timesheet. It's not working. I went, yes, I can do this podcast. Well, try to. Anyway, that's how it's attached. Look, see? Now I'm going to see how deep it is out there. Now if I'm over depth, my float will drop. But if I'm under depth, my float will sink to the bottom. It'll disappear. Let's have a go. Let's just drop it out there a touch. Oh. Cock on. So that's roughly 5 feet. Now, I can just about see me float. I'm going to go out, I'm a rod length out. So I'm going to go about a rod and a half length out, see if it gets any deeper. disappeared. So if it's disappeared and you want to fish close in, lift your rod up, reel it in, put your rod down. Our float still hasn't appeared. So a little bit more. It's there. But even if I cast a little bit further out, it doesn't matter, because the fish can be sitting in the bottom, about a foot off the bottom, or they could be in the middle column, as I call it. And sometimes, if it's a nice warm day, you can get them on the top, and you can cast in. If you haven't got all your shots, if you got all your shots on the bottom of your float, then your bait just sinks down naturally. I like to put a shot about 18 inches away from my float. So as it hits the water, float hits, the shot hits, and then the bait goes down quicker to the bottom. If I can see fish on the top, I push all my shots up underneath my float, and it's like it's called a waggler. The way I've got it at the moment is classed as a waggler, a mini waggler, because of you got a shot each side of that float. So when you get a little bit of wave, it just does that backwards and forwards like that. Now if I did now you can use different floats for different venues. I'm quite happy using this one on this venue. Right, let's put some more maggots on. Now, try a bit of sweet corn. But the thing is, I said I'm going to try a bit of sweet corn. There we go, look, simple as pull off, little loop, pull it out, and it's off your line. There's my line in my hand, there's my little plumb bob. And there is other things that you can use if you catch a fish. If the hook goes down the fish's throat, and you can't get your hands to get it out, there is a thing called a disgorger. This is a little aluminium disgorger. It's got a loop there where normally I've got one around my neck, so I don't have to keep fumbling about for it. There's a little thing there, you can turn it around slowly. Oh, there you go, there's a little groove there. Stick your line down, go down the fish's mouth, turn it, pull it out. That's the whole idea of having a barbless hook. The easiest to get out with one of these. Sometimes if you're using a barbed hook, you can rip the gullet of the fish. That's the reason why we use barbless hooks on the lake, so you don't damage the fish's, like esophagus here. I'm coming out with big words. I must have had a dictionary this morning, but hey ho. Bit of sweet corn. Hook it through there. Here you go. It's on my hook. So I'm just going to drop it in here. Waddling through. Whoop. Can you hear that? You might be able to see them come past. There they go. Swans. Now, last time I was here, I made a schoolboy error. Whoop. I'm going to put my rod down, not on the rod rest, but just there. Made a schoolboy error. Brought my rod in. Excuse me, I'm just going to throw some sweet corn. right on the float to bring them in. Again. Okay. Now, fishing away now. Quite happy with that. Now I've put my rod down on the floor while I'm turning around to you. Because I know carp like sweet corn. So, if I haven't got my eye on the float while I'm talking to you, float will go round, float will go under, the rod will go round, I've got it by my leg, knowing that I can grab it before it'll poof. But the thing is, again, you say, how can you relax when you're fishing? I'm trying to be a presenter. I want to try and get people interested in fishing. There's a lot of things, as I said before, on my other first ones, mental health, it helps. Family time, it helps. It's nice to sit and ponder, think about problems. Like Friday, I was at work. There's a new lad there, bit of a Johnny Concrete, thinks he's a hard man. I was talking about the hassle I had down below Anchor with a couple of guys. Told him the situation. Well, I'm not going to tell you what actually happened, but they told me to go, and I wasn't pleased. So a few words was exchanged, a few threats by them was exchanged, and I just looked and laughed. In the end, I did bow down, because there was 12 of them. So I decided to move on and do my first talk to you. I told him about that. And then unfortunately, not unfortunately, for some unknown reason, while I was working, come on, put his fist up to me, he said, I'd like to have a go at you. Now me, sitting there now, I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking, that kid's an idiot. You go to work, not to challenge people. But he's one of these people who have got nothing else better to do. You don't work. He wants to scare people. I'm sorry, but I'm not a person to be scared easy. As I said, I'm a karate instructor. I love teaching young children discipline, and also to look after themselves, because it's a cruel world. Once you leave school, it's a cruel world. And you can see the ones who are going to be picked on at school when they go to secondary school. And most of my kids, the youngest one I've got is 6, and the rest of them go to about 14. I've just had a new instructor, which I'm proud of. He's been with me since he was 5.5. And this young lad now, he's got his black belt. He's working for his first dan, and he's going to join the army. Lovely. Which I'm happy for, because it's for him and his family. It's give him a sense of purpose in life. See, things like that. Even people doing self-defence, brilliant. Anyway, never mind that. We're on about fishing. Fishing now. When you're fishing, you enjoy. Some people have just gone and turned up now in a big van. Foreign, I think. Got all the gear, as usual. Probably no idea, but we'll see. Some of them come, believe it or not, and I'm going to be watching to make sure they don't take the fish out of the water to eat. That's what a lot of them do. Come fishing. Yeah, they catch a fish. I think they can take it home and eat it. No, sorry, it belongs in the fishery. Seen it many a time. I'm talking a bit quiet because they're a bit close. I don't want to be upset again, do I? Anyway, nothing happening on that cast. Let's try again. You got to keep casting. You can't just leave it. I'm just sitting here now and I've just seen a beautiful buzzard flying overhead. The wingspan on it is absolutely amazing. Again, you wouldn't be seeing that if you were sitting at home. Would you? Quick going. Ooh, now, there is one thing you should always bring with you. Bear with me. Always bring a cloth or a rag. Dry your hands out. Sweet corn's all gooey. No, I'm having a look at the moment. Maggots, they're all right. Pot. Ashtray. These blokes think I'm talking to myself. Well, I am really. No, I'm talking to you. See? Can, discard, inside. Somebody's left the cable tie. So, fold it up. Cable tie. In there, look. God. Silver paper. I'm finding more stuff here and I do when I do metal detecting. Yeah. So of course. It's alright lads, I'm not talking to myself, I'm doing a podcast.
Sorry?
I said I'm not talking to myself, I'm doing a podcast. I'm not mental. Mind you, I may as well be. No one will listen to me anyway. See, have a laugh. Got to in you. They just looked at me and thought I was mental, so I just told them, I'm not mad, I'm just trying to do a podcast for fishing. You can sit for hours. You can, believe it or not, sometimes you can go to a venue, you can straight in, 5 minutes, bang, into a fish. Doesn't always work that way. Now, I've been here over half an hour. Had a cup of coffee before I started, before I even set up. Had a cup of coffee, I had to get me juice down my neck. I said I'm only fishing a rod length out. Not doing that good. But I'm basing that area up. Now, when you fish, sometimes I've got reeds either side of me. You can get a few maggots, get a bit of sweet corn, a bit of ground base, worm, whatever, chopped worm, whatever. Throw just away from the reeds, about a foot away from the reeds. If there's any fish in the reeds, or bring them out. Ooh, with a sweet gun. I'll have that. Oh, a bit of worm. Come and have that. Always swim out. But sometimes you can cast right by a reed bed. And as soon as that fish comes out, where does it disappear to? Into the reeds. And then you've got a fight on your hands. If you're lucky, you can get them out. Sometimes they'll snap off. At the moment, if you can see just on the bottom of the picture, I've got ducks in my swim, just there. Again, when you're fishing, you get your ducks come round, and you get your geese come round, and you get your swans come round. Because they're after the crumbs that are in front of you sometimes. Sometimes, well, right where your float is, they'll swim round and pick at your floats. Don't worry about it, because why the birds are comfortable round your float, fish will swim past and see they're comfortable, bang, go for your base, and then you hit the light, and all of a sudden, as soon as you lift your rod, the ducks will fly off. Well, sometimes you may cast out, which has happened many a time. I've done it myself many a time. I've cast it out, and yeah, caught a duck. Ducks followed me bait down, grabbed it. I thought, oh, I got a bite here. Bang! Next minute, I got the duck in the mouth. Mainly it's chicks. The little chicks see, just go for it, and you can't do anything about that. But one of those things. Well, just bear with me for a couple of minutes. I'll just go and try something, and excuse my back. I'm trying to get a result so I can show you what a fish is like. Again, I've been here 27 minutes now talking to you while I'm fishing. Not a touch. So I want to try and bring them on a bit. So excuse me, I'm going to be just turning my back a bit for a reason, because I want to get the fish going. I've got to recast now because I've put all the bait in the wrong bloody place. I've got a crosswind coming across, a little bit of a ripple, but my float is stationary because I'm on the bottom. I'm happy about it. Again, move my rod range so if I get a bite, I can get it. I haven't put it on the rod rest. Anyway, as I was saying, I've done a stupid thing. Schoolboy error. Brought my swim feed rod in, and what I normally do, I put my rod on the bank with no bait on at all. Put the hook onto an eye of the rod. Again, I left my rod out in a loop, so it was like sticking out but had a loop in it with a line through it. And while I turned around and went to get my other rod, my float rod, swan come from the side, got its neck through the loop, if you understand what I mean, through the loop. The next minute my rod decided to go around the swan's neck into the water. Now the swan was struggling for a while with that round its neck, Well, I've come running around the lake. Hopefully the swan will come closer this way, which it did. This is why I'm fishing there, because later on I'm going to drop a lead in with a treble hook on, just to try and see if I can find that rod. And it was what I just bought it. Bought a brand new reel with it. All come all together off Amazon. And you can get some decent stuff off Amazon if you look on there and you know what you're looking for, or if you want to start. I think the rod and reel cost me about 45 quid, probably more than that, with postage and packing a little bit more, but it was free delivery. Because sometimes once you get to learn how and know what you want, you can pick up on Amazon loads of stuff. Now, most of my gear, what I've got this day and age, I mean that thing for my cooker there, from Amazon. And I'm not into, I'm not into names of I'm not into what's the word I'm looking for. I'm not into names of certain, like Shimano, Penn, Abu. That's the only names I use when I'm sea fishing. Shimano, Abu reel, and a Penn reel, because they're ones I know. The reels I buy, I just buy them. I don't go out for names, because you're paying for the name. But at the moment, I'm doing no good on float. So what I might do, I might set up a lead. I've got one already. I've already got it. I've got a rod bag where you can, like when I finish today, I can just fold all this down, leave the line all the way through the rod and reel, even leave the float on and put it in. Might show you later what it looks like. And you can buy them. They're about 40 quid, 50 quid. All depends what you want to pay. I mean, if you want to go big time, you can spend thousands and thousands. I mean, I've got a pole at home, 16 metre. Bloody awkward in the wind. You get a crosswind, mate, you've had it. But that's only when I used to do match fishing. I don't do match fishing anymore. I do leisure fishing. Because again, match fishermen, to me, they're another people who I get on with. Don't get me wrong, I get on with them. There's nothing wrong with match fishing. But I don't like to compete all the time. All I want to do is fish. But you say, yeah, but that's fishing. Yeah, but there's a lot of camaraderie in fishing. I.e., you match fishermen. A lot of camaraderie. Somebody always moans about somebody. Someone's always said, oh, he was cheating, he was using this, he was using that. There was certain baits you couldn't use, and, you know. But on a fishery like this, you can use keep nets only when you are in a contest. Now, on this pool I'm fishing at the moment, there's no landing net, there's no keep nets out, because it's catch and release. Brilliant idea. I think that's a bloody brilliant idea, because you're not harming the fish. We have got nets that are called micromesh nets to stop the fish getting caught in them. Years ago, they used to be like what we call gill nets. They were that big. The holes in the nets were that big. It was unreal. and you'd always get your gudgeon or your little perch or your little roach. Get the head in the, again, fishermen designed a net that will keep the fish safe and healthy. Try to cause no harm to them. Hang on a minute, my float's come right in. Well, the next time I do a foul cast, I'm going to leave it out there because you never know, I might catch someone out there. And there's things. When you're fishing, just bear with me a second. If you cast out far, got those things called catapults. And what you do, drop your bait in, little thing on the back, look, what you can hold. Put your bait in, shoots it out. It only depends how far you're fishing. If you want to put your bait out further and you're fishing deeper, like on a swim feed, method feeder, sorry, you use one of those. Because sometimes you want to bait up the area before you drop on it, what they call pre-baiting, and you drop straight on top of it, let your line settle. As soon as you cast out, don't reel in straight as soon as it hits the water, because your lead is supposed, say I've put the bait there, your lead's supposed to hit, as it hits the water, it's got to sink. If you, as soon as that lead hits the water and you reel, you're pulling it away from where it should be. So it's like sea fishing as well. When you sea fish, you cast out. I've seen people sea fishing. They cast out to tighten the line. No need. Cast, drop, let it settle. Once it's settled, then you tighten your line. You don't tighten your line as it hits the water, because bang, you're bringing it up far away from where you've just put your bait. Even if you're using a method feeder or a swim feeder, just let it sink and then tighten up, not before. But you try and tell some people, I tell you to mind your own bloody business, trying to give them advice, that's all. It's like elevation, that's what it is, the elevation. There's my bait, here, sitting on the floor. I've dropped all my bait there with a catapult, made a carpet of bait. There's my bait sitting on the floor. I cast to where that bait is. As soon as it hits the water, I reel and it comes back nowhere near my bait, is it, look? So you cast, you could cast just over it, just past it, and it will sink. And you can pull it back, as you tie it up, you can pull it back and it sits right in the middle of your bait. It's bait bowl. But anyway, I'm just going to try, excuse my back again, I'm just going to try and spruce the fish up. I'm going to do a long cast at this depth, see what happens, but I'm going to put a maggot on. Believe it or not, me just taking that off and I just threw it in the water. I've done that on a contest. I'm putting about 2 maggots on. Oops. I'm going to put 2 red ones and 1 little white one. No, it wasn't. 2 red ones and an orange one. Shall we try that? But what I'm going to do, I'm going to cast out and then I'm going to use my slingshot. Oh, that didn't go far. Try again. Now I know I can't throw that far, hence this. Ooh, that was nice. Right. I'm just going to switch off and I'm going to do some fishing.